Hello, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm Carrie. I'm a 29-year-old vegan living in Bristol in the UK. I've been vegan for over 8.5 years now, so a little bit of time, and I live with my fiance who is not vegan, but he does eat vegan at home with me. So if you haven't watched my channel before, I make content all about keeping my grocery budget low whilst keeping the meals fresh, interesting, and most of all, tasty and realistic. So this week, I have not been shopping. I have not been to any shops. I am simply using up what I have in my fridge, in my freezer, in my cupboards. I had quite a few things in my fridge that needed to be used up before they went bad. So veg, meat alternatives, that sort of thing. So I am gonna talk you through 5 meals this week, 5 dinners of how I used everything. These were unplanned meals, I suppose, just using up the groceries that I had and making something out of them. So they are not fancy, they are very realistic, down to earth, and most of them are pretty quick as well. So I really hope you enjoy my ideas. Let me know in the comments if you make any quick meals like this, or if you would have done something different with the ingredients that I have. So without further ado, let's get into the meals. 5 dinner meals this week. What did I make? So one of the absolute best ways that you can use things up, I find, is doing a sheet pan meal. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. We still have a lot of gnocchi in the cupboard from when we did our oleo week, because we got 10 packets of gnocchi at that point. So I think we've got 4 packets left. So we have been getting through it, but I'm going to use a whole packet of gnocchi and just so this is obviously going to do multiple portions, but I am just gonna separate out the gnocchi now. Traditionally, you just boil gnocchi for like 3 minutes and it's done. But I really like it when it's roasted and then it's like soft on the inside and crunchy on the outside. So that is how I like to do it. It obviously takes a lot longer, but I think it is worth it. Okay, so the gnocchi is out. I then have these meatballs from Sainsbury's, and I'm going to use the whole of the rest of the packet. So there's 2 portions of meatballs. So I am just gonna spread these out like this. No rhyme or reason to where I've put them. It's just evenly spread. I then had a red pepper that needed using. So I've chopped up the red pepper and I am gonna add it to the pan too, just like this. Again, just randomly placing it, making sure it's all on the foil and not the wider pan. And then I have lots of plum tomatoes which really need using, and I have not used any of these yet, so I'm then gonna put some oil on everything. I do get asked a lot about these oil containers. They're from TikTok shop, so you can probably get them other places as well, but they are really handy. We really like them. And then I'm just going to go in with some really basic seasonings. So I'm going to put some garlic over everything like this. Salt. Go in with some pepper. Like that. And I'm also going to do some Italian herbs as well. Now, if I had cheese, I would use it, but I don't. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of nutritional yeast at this point as well. I actually don't have very much left at all, so I'm going to not be so generous, just give a little bit like that. So this is going to go in the oven. I don't have a recipe, so I'll start with 10 minutes, check it. It's probably going to need longer than that. Probably 20 minutes is going to be the sweet spot here, but I'll check it at 10, give it a mix around, and we'll go from there. This is how everything's come out looking. It's all fully cooked, and this will do me, I think, for definitely 2 meals, possibly 3. I'll see how we get on with portioning. And this was 25 minutes in the oven at 180 degrees centigrade. So yeah, this is the meal. Simple, but going to be delicious. And I love how crispy these get out on the outside, but nice and soft on the inside. This is how it looks. So this is made 2 portions, meatballs, pepper, tomatoes, and gnocchi. Okay, I am making a breakfast for dinner sort of situation, and if I'm honest, this is going to be the easiest thing to do. I'm just shoving a lot of things in the air fryer, toasting some bread, and heating up some beans in the microwave. So actually, very low effort. Breakfast for dinner is such a good way to use things up, but also, not have to put much in. So I've got 2 crusts here. So this is the final bit of this Danish loaf. We got this from Heron Foods ages ago, literally for 31p. So I've got to the end. So I've just got these 2 crusts that I'm going to use. I have a tomato, so I'm going to cut that and have that in the air fryer. There are 3 sausages. Now, I don't think I need 3 sausages, but I am going to cook them all, and maybe I'll have 1.5 and save 1.5 for something else. I think that's probably the wisest thing here. Baked beans, going to use some of these. And then hash brown wise, how many are there left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 left. I think I'm going to do 3. I'll keep 2. We sometimes like to put hash browns in our burgers as like a topping kind of thing. I can't remember. There's a specific name for when you do that, but it is very delicious. But it's fine leaving 2 hash browns there. I don't need 5. I'm not going to eat 5. So yeah, I am just going to, all I'm going to do is chop this in half. So I'm not really going to show you me do that because that's pointless. But yeah, all of it's basically going in the air fryer, toaster, and microwave. So this should take about 20 minutes all in all. Okay, so this is how it's ended up. I've got my sausage and a half, and I've got 1.5 left for something else. 3 hash browns, baked beans, 2 slices of toast, but part of one of the slices was missing in action. You can see I probably overdid those tomatoes massively, but I just shoved the hash brown sausages and tomatoes in the same bit of the air fryer all together, and it was super easy. So I'm sure it's going to taste nice. So yeah, lovely, easy breakfast for dinner. Hey, this is going to be dinner tonight. I have 2 big parsnips, 3 potatoes. You can see that there's things that are going to need to be cut off of these potatoes, but that's okay. Got 2 big carrots and 1 small one. I do still have some carrots left in the fridge, but I didn't need more than this for this. And then I've got this isn't superfood. Now, one of my subscribers, Steph, tried this, said she didn't like it, but it was on offer when she tried it. And I saw that this was on offer for £1.95 in Waitrose while I was there for the Waitrose video. So I picked one up in a separate transaction to have it, obviously, after the video. We really like this. I think it tastes quite mushroomy, but my fiance doesn't really like mushrooms to be the main event, and he really likes it too. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm actually tasting, but me and my fiance both really like this. So mixed reviews. I would say if you find it on offer, try it for yourself. But I think this was half price, so I don't think we'll be buying it at the regular price just because it seems slightly high. But for £1.95, this was, I thought, a good thing. So I am going to have this kind of like a roast, I guess, and I'm going to do some gravy and have mashed potato, roasted veg, and this with some gravy, and that's going to be that. So yeah, I think this should be really nice and a good way to use up all of this fresh stuff before it turns bad. So I am just taking both parsnips here and peeling them. I washed them before this as well, and then I am going to cut them into chunks and obviously cut the ends off there as well. And then I am going to do the exact same thing with the carrots too. I think with the carrots you have to make sure they're in smaller chunks or thinner chunks because they do take a bit longer if they are really thick like these ones. So I've got all of my parsnips and carrots cut now, so I'm just going to spray them with some oil like this. Okay, then I am going to add, first of all, some salt, like that. I am going to add in some garlic and some onion granules as well. Not as many of these, but just for a little something. And then I am going to add in Italian herbs, like that. So they are going to go in the oven for 40 minutes. Okay, these are now ready to peel. Okay, now that these are peeled, I am going to chop them like this. They don't need to be uniform because these are going to be boiled and mashed, but I do want them roughly the same size, obviously, so that they will cook at the same rate. Okay, so I am going to add these to a pan and I am going to have them come to the boil and then simmer for about half an hour, and they will be then ready to mash. Just adding in my boiling water. There we go. My fiance has used some of this already, so I have just got half of it left, and I'm going to slice this and I'm going to air fry it for 6 to 8 minutes. So the last 6 to 8 minutes I'll air fry it. Now it doesn't look appetizing, okay guys, it looks grey, so you are going to have to bear with the look of it, but I mean, I really like the taste, as does my fiance. So no, it's not for everyone, but I would say give it a chance and see if you like it or not. I've added some oil. I'm going to add some garlic, salt and pepper. You can tell the seasonings that I just used for absolutely everything, but find me someone who does not like garlic, okay? I think you are going to be hard pressed to find them because it's just so delicious. So what I always do with this as well is I flip them over onto that side, skirt them with a little bit of oil, but then actually some of your seasoning will have transferred onto there. Obviously I cleaned this chopping board before I started using it, and I will clean it after as well, so I don't really mind just rubbing in to catch the seasoning that I may have missed. So yeah, this is going in the air fryer for the last 8 minutes. Right, everything's done, so I'm just going to drain these and mash them and then plate it all up, and I'll show you when it's all ready. Here it is, dinner, and then I'm just going to pour on some gravy over the meat substitute and the veg. I don't want it on my mash, but you can have it on your mash if you want. There we go. Okay, so I'm about to make dinner. Now, this is in no way authentic. When I say that I'm about to make a dan dan noodle situation, the only thing that makes it that is the fact that I'm going to do mince and have like chili and sesame oil to make it spicy. But for my broth, I am going to do, I've got this package I got from the Asian supermarket ages ago. That video, never eaten it. It's cabbage, noodle, mushroom, braised cabbage and needle mushrooms with chili. So that's going to go in with the mince. I have got peanut butter, a little bit of nutritional yeast. I've got a vegetable stock cube, and I've also got some of this cream left from my Waitrose video, so I'm going to use that up. So it's going to be a creamy peanut butter broth with the mince and cabbage and needle mushrooms as the topping. I've got udon noodles, so I'll just have one of these, and I'll have then one left. So yeah, I'm just gonna get going. There's nothing for me to chop, so I'm just gonna show you once everything's in the pan. But again, this should be a nice quick meal, which has not been on purpose. I think it's just because when you're using stuff up, you know, it's more ready to go things that are in the cupboard or fridge or freezer. Okay, I've boiled the kettle, so the first thing I'm going to do is add in water to this saucepan to about there with the udon noodles in, and I am going to then turn that stove on. So it says it takes about 5 minutes for the udon noodles to cook, so they are just gonna simmer there. And then to this frying pan, I am going to add some oil and turn that one on as well. And then I am going to add some of my mince to that. Do you think that looks like one person's portion? I would say so. Maybe I've done a bit too much, but rather too much than too less. Too less? Not enough. Is what I was trying to say there. My goodness. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add this to my mince so that it cooks all in together. I mean, it kind of looks like cat food in that it's all like clumped together, but I'm sure it's going to taste good, and it's got that chili sauce on as well, which is nice because we want this to be a bit spicy. And to that, I'm going to add some sesame oil. We're actually running out of this. We need to get some more soon. It smells so good. So I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to add in some garlic and then also some soy sauce. See, while that's been happening, my noodles have come to a boil. Now, I don't want as much broth as that. So what I'm going to do is turn that down, and I am just going to drain some of the broth, the water. So I've left some water in there, and I'm going to add in my vegetable stock cube to that. And just let that break down. Right, this is getting crispy, which is great. That's what we wanted. Let's taste a little bit. Let's see if we need more chili or not. I'm not sure what the chili tastes like on the vegetables. No more chili. That's perfect, actually. That tastes so good. Oh, I'm excited for this now. I love the taste of braised cabbage. I think it's so nice. And I always kind of mistake it for egg in things. Not the taste, but how it looks. You know, it looks stringy and sort of like egg-like sometimes. It's a bit more oil. I want it a little bit crispier than it is, but don't want it to stick. I think this pan is like coming to the end of its life, which is a bit sad. Things are sticking a bit more. Okay, let's see how the broth is getting on. So that stock cube is pretty much broken down. So I'm going to add in a good amount of soy sauce. It's the only thing with these things, you have to put loads in because you're only getting tiny bits out. So I'm going to turn the mince down to a 2. Also going to add in a little bit of sesame oil to that. Okay, I want to add in peanut butter. So I'm going to add in a tablespoon of peanut butter, which is actually a lot. But I want this to be really peanutty. So I'm just going to add that in. Once that looks like dissolved, I'm just going to get some of it off the spoon as well. Peanut butter is obviously sticky until you sort of do that. Right. And I just add in some cream. That is the rest of the cream. It's going to be very rich, but I'm excited for it all the same. That tastes so good. I can't even describe how good that tastes to you. And then I'm going to add in nutritional yeast. I just measure with my heart. I don't do a specific amount. I may put in more than that. We'll see how that goes. This nutritional yeast also helps to sort of thicken it. Now all I'm going to do is add the noodles and the creamy peanut broth to this bowl. The taste, guys, I can't even describe to you how good it tastes. And then I'm going to top it with my mince and cabbage mushroom. But yeah, I've probably done way too much with this, but do I care? No. It's gonna taste good. So if I had crispy onions, I would definitely add them at this point. And same with sesame seeds as well, but I have neither of those things at my disposal at the moment. And the whole point of the meals this week are to just use up what I have. So there we go. That is the finished product. I think that looks so good. Let me know if you would make this. I am beyond excited to eat this. I love ramen, and this looks like a good one. Dinner tonight is going to be the this is superfood garlic and herb marinated pieces. Rest of the tomatoes I've got onion and peppers, and I'm going to fry those all together. I'm going to have broccoli on the side. This is for 2 people, by the way, and then rice. And that's going to be dinner. That's all of my tomatoes chopped and that half an onion. And then if I show you over here, here's my this isn't superfood garlic and herb pieces. It smells kind of lemony as well, actually. So they're going to air fry. I'm going to fry the tomatoes and onion in here and then add in the air fried pieces once they're done. And then obviously you've got the rice. First thing I'm going to do is just add some water to the rice. The rice is going to take the longest. This is going to be a very quick meal. Had the rice boiling a little while. Veg come up, so I'm going to turn down the onions and peppers to medium heat. And then I'm going to add my tomatoes in. There we go. All successfully air fried. and all mixed in. And here is dinner. Looks good. So that is everything that I made this week. I think I ate super well. I have really gone through the fresh things in the fridge. So the only food that we've got left in the fridge is one, leftovers, so the mash and the roasted veg, and then that 1.5 sausage. So that will do me for a lunch one day, and I'll make up some gravy and have that as a meal. Otherwise, I've got 3 carrots and some onions. Carrots and onions last a lot longer in the fridge than other things, so I was particularly focusing on using up those tomatoes. I had 1 red pepper left to use, that sort of thing. So I hope you found it interesting to see the things that just came off the top of my head of what will I make when I've got these ingredients. Some I made for the 2 of us and some I just made for me. My freezer is still pretty full and my cupboards are really full. I do tend to keep, I'm not going to say stockpile because it's definitely not a stockpile, but I do like to keep things in my cupboard. So it's very rare that my cupboards will be entirely bare. So I do have still a bit going on in there. So I think more of these kind of meals to come, because why shop for the sake of it? Great way to save money. Don't go to the shop. Pretty much, obviously, we'll go in for fruit and veg. I think my favourite meal this week was probably my take on a dandan peanut ramen. I just love ramen and the broth tasted so good. I feel like it was quite decadent with the leftover soya cream in there. I wouldn't normally do that. I would have just put in some milk or something like that. So having the cream was a little extra bit of fanciness and tastiness for sure. I think I used this is superfood blocks in different ways to I'd used them before, where I just use them sort of as meat alternative, stir fry protein. I really liked it with like my mash and veg and gravy. That worked really well. I still put a disclaimer on this because some people hate it. So please don't blame me if you don't like it, but if you see it on offer and are curious like I was, I would recommend it. I really like it. I think it's really nice, but not for everyone. Not for everyone. So this is everything. £0 spent. How much more frugal could I go, really? So if you liked this video, please let me know in the comments. Let me know if you are going to make any of these meals. I loved Steph last week tagged me in her Instagram. She made one of my meals from the previous week, so that was really fun to see. So if you do recreate any of these meals, please do let me know. Speaking of Instagram, I am over on Instagram, so if you want to see more of my content and a little bit of behind the scenes stuff, then do follow me on there. It's at Frugal Vegan UK. And as always, please subscribe, please like and hype the video if you did enjoy the video, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.